This one. Not to bring. No. Then what you are bringing? Extra. We will see that. Okay. First, we will see a video. Based on that, we will see. Okay. You are knowing. Then you sit here.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sugar language.
You don't know this. I still have this. Shut up. Which video? You take this YouTube video that our lesson Geographic Grid, Latitudes and Longitudes, or ICSE last line Geography. Those can be taken. Use the tape.
Wait, I'll just this.
Take. Took some time now. Tomorrow we will stop and we will do. Listen, I will ask. Stop. When you stop pause here, we will discuss that. Okay. See, what is the shape of the Earth? As your oblate sphere. Oblate spheroid. Okay. Because it is not just exactly like a perfect sphere. Now, on that Earth, how can we locate a place?
With the help of latitudes and longitudes.
It is a very complex process.
Latitudes are east to west.
So, this calculation is a very complex process. Now, Then you want to find out where India is situated. So India is situated in which hemisphere and which side, and at the same time in between which latitudes, which longitude. That will be easy to identify. For that purpose, certain mathematical calculations are used. And it is not very easy to make this mathematical calculation. That is why some imaginary lines are drawn on this blob. That blob, what is a blob? What is a blob? A small model of Earth. Huh? Earth's model is called a blob. Because when we look around, is it look round in shape?
Right. In the
If we are looking outside, it is not round in shape.
no, it's like flat for
Yes. If at all it is round in shape, there is all the possibility that from one point we may fall down. Isn't it? But we are not falling down.
because of gravitation.
Because of the gravitational force, we are not falling down. But how can we identify all these things? That is why some imaginary lines are drawn on this globe. But on the earth, there is no lines. So, which are the lines and how this one is done? So, we know that a circle, how many degrees are there?
96.
Circle is 360 degrees. No, one circle is 360 degrees. But one part of the circle only looking. Understood? The other side is also there, but one part only looking. So this way, when we are looking, we can get this kind of picture. Okay. So from center to north, there is 90 degrees. From here to south,
90 degrees.
90 degrees.
90 degrees north and 90 degrees south.
So how can we identify this one?
North,
The top part is north,
south,
down
West.
part is south,
west, and east.
left part is west, and the right part is east.
Then that is northeast,
Ah.
southeast, northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest.
Okay. So this way, when we are identifying that location, it will be very easy to identify the place on the globe. Okay. Now, with the help of this 0 degree, it is divided into two parts, which are the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Got it? Which are the southern hemisphere. The part in the north of equator is northern hemisphere. The part in the south of equator is southern hemisphere. Did you get all this thing? And parallel to this, we know that Earth is rotating on its axis. So it is having 23.5 degrees slanting. That is, its axis is how much? 23.5 degree. Axis is there. That is another lesson, rotation will say. So it is not exactly circle. It is not sitting like it is not sitting or at the head of something. So it is having a slanting of axis 23.5. Okay. So north of this 0 degree, there is one more line. So this one is the largest line. And going upward, it is reducing. Okay. The first one is 23.5 degree. This one is known as Tropic of Cancer. This part is called Arctic Circle.
Arctic Circle is the north pole.
Exactly above this part. 2, 9. So this part is North Pole. This part is South Pole. So the region from this onwards, this is 66 and a half degree. From 66 and a half degree to 90 degrees, it is Arctic Circle. Understood? And the top, that 90 degree is what? North Pole, and this 90 degree is South Pole. So now this, how much degree we got? 180. So latitudes, how many degrees are there? 190 degrees. You also have to tell. Huh? This one, what is 23 and a half degree latitude called? That is in the northern part. Southern part, what is 23 and a half degree called? That is Tropic of Capricorn. And this one, after 66 and a half, what circle is there? Antarctic. Antarctic. Sorry. Okay. Did you get to this very clearly? Now, what is line of latitude?
Line of latitude or all latitude.
Latitude is the angular distance from east to west above the equator. Angular distance of from east to west
Above the
equator. Above and below, the north and south of equator. Clear? So first one is 0 degree. 0 degree is the longest latitude. Going upward and downward, it is reducing. Why it is reducing? It's going to the tip, 90 degrees. So the line size is reduced. Got it? Just continue. Got it. Why it is called parallels already? Parallels. Which one is the great circle? This one you have to. Afterwards, 181. When the point is joining, that is also 90 degree, no? The point is joining that. As it is a circle, there is a join. 29.
अबे उतना आगे अरे तू पीछे कर आगे चला गया तू यार अरे तू आगे जा रहा है
This one also you have to remember. What is that here? Circumference 14,077. Okay. Stop it. Stop. Now you take your textbook or few points. I will tell you to mark. Did you understand this much clearly?
yes ma'am
Now that take the textbook or whatever book you are having, mark it. Hmm?
it's very
The first sentence, see, why do we need that imaginary lines on the globe? The first sentence is that Earth's surface is so vast that unless a mathematical method is used, it is impossible to locate any place. Have you seen? Huh?
these were same
Ah, yes, yes. It is having all the words. Okay. Why we need in order to locate it, like it is very vast, so unless a mathematical calculation or some lines are drawn we cannot identify, so this imaginary lines are drawn. So how this imaginary lines are there, that is you used to learn graphs. In the graph this horizontal lines are called x-axis, no? And vertical lines are y-axis. Two axes, have you seen? You did not study or you have? So, compared to that, on our earth, the vertical lines are, which are latitudes. Sorry, horizontal lines I told, or vertical lines I told. So, horizontal lines are latitudes and vertical lines are longitudes. Clear? Now, next point. The lines running east to west parallel to equator are called lines of latitude. You also mark second point. Have you taken your textbook? You have marked everything. Which lesson? Page number 17. Okay. This part. So first part you understood what are lines of latitude. The lines running north to south passing through the poles are called the lines of longitude. Okay. The intersection of the latitudes and longitudes pinpoint any place on the earth. See, if we want to find out where Mumbai is situated, so we know that there are longitudes and there are latitudes. So that the intersecting point can be used to locate that place. So we are getting this much degree east, this much degree north. So north and east or east-west or the southeast or southwest. So with the help of that, we can identify that place. For example, India. I am just telling about this is the place, the latitude of India. Okay. Now, when we mention about longitude, 67.8 to 97.25. East latitude.
Why is that A? Why is that A?
Oh, is that 4? It's 4. 4.
Sorry.
84. So, from one line to other line, there is, that is what is 1 degree. 1 degree is, it take, that is if it is that longitude, it take 4 minutes. From 1 degree to other degree, it is 4 minutes. So like that, this is north, then I am just telling 69.8 to see, this is what the longitude. Okay, so the difference is almost 30 degrees. The difference between this. That I can teach you. It is the. So, based on these degrees, which part it is, which hemisphere it is located, and which side it is located, it is very easy to identify a place. That is why we are using latitudes and longitudes. This much is clear? Okay. Now, next point. These crisscrossing lines form a framework known as geographic grid. That is very important. That is the name of the lesson, geographic grid. Okay, see, on the globe, there are so many lines, east, west, and north, south. So it forms small grids. That grid is called a geographic grid. This is coming in your 10th standard, one lesson to identify this grid system, topography. Okay. So what is grid? The crisscrossing lines on the globe. That complex that crisscrossing lines on the globe is known as what? Geographic grid. Definition you got? Now, who was the philosopher? That also you underline. Erasmus had calculated the circumference of the earth, had devised lines of latitude and longitude to locate places of the earth. So, you just imagine now we have so many ways to calculate the things. And he, so many centuries back, without having any such equipments and other methods, calculated the circumference of the earth. Okay, so the name you remember, These important reference lines help us locate place. This grid on the globe or the map serves the same purpose as does the system of coordinates on the x-axis and y-axis I have told you. In the present case, x-axis represented the lines of latitude and y-axis lines of longitude. Clear? Let us move to lines of latitude. A latitude is the angular distance of a place north or south of equator. That definition you have to remember. A latitude is marked in degrees with the equator being 0 degree. So when I wrote, see here also, these all things are marked with the degree. 0 degree is equator. So latitude is marked with the degrees. Next, latitudes are calculated according to the angle a place makes with the center of the earth. So what is that? Which angle it is? Whether it is 23.5 degree or 66.5 degree or 30 degrees or whatever. That angle. So when we are making this one, we get a 90 degree. So same way, that is the angle at which that place is located. That is why the definition is given angular distance. You just check. Okay. Now, this one, lines of latitudes are the imaginary lines joining all places having the same latitude towards north or south of equator. Since the lines of latitude are parallel to the equator and each other, they are called parallels of latitude. Why it is called parallels of latitude?
Because they are parallel to the equator.
So that is why it is also called a parallels of latitude. Each parallel of latitude is a full circle. So I told you this one is 180 degree. It is showing that half the part, semicircle. Okay, so that actually it is forming a full circle. As the earth is round, it is forming the full circle. Then, the lines of latitude are not of equal length and becoming smaller as we move towards the poles. At a 60-degree latitude in each hemisphere, the length of the circle is half the length of equator. Got it? Now the main latitudes. This also I have told you. How many parallels of latitudes are there? 181. So each forming 1 degree. Understood? See the 0 degree here. Then above that 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree like that, it goes to 90. And here 1 degree south to 90 degree. Together make 181. See, here 90 degrees you got it, here 90 degrees you got it. But this 0 degree is the first one. Got it? How many the lines are there? You tell. Huh? How many lines of latitudes are there? 181. Okay, you should not forget. Equator is the longest line of latitude. It represents 0 degree. The North Pole 90 degree is located at an angular distance of 90 degree north of equator. The South Pole is located at an angular distance of 90 degrees south of equator. Tropic of Capricorn 23.5 degrees south is the line of latitude located 23.5 degrees south of equator. These all things we have studied. Okay. And see, we have seen from 0 to 23 when we took each that line is 1 degree. Okay, Each line is how much degree? 1 degree. This 1 degree is actually on land. How much is the distance? 111 kilometers. That you have to remember for calculation. So 1 degree is equal to 111 kilometers. Did you get what I have told? See here, each line. So that actual distance on the land is 111 kilometers. Clear? Then the length of equator is equal to the circumference of the earth. So what is the circumference of the earth? 44,077. What is the unit? 44,000. No? 40,000. No? What is given in your textbook?
4075.
75 kilometers.